Good morning and welcome to the next video on ellipses. Before we continue, and now that you have some understanding of the mathematics of an ellipse, I just want to talk to you briefly about some very practical uses for ellipses that I think you'll find interesting. The first really practical use is a concept called lithotripsy, and it's the removal of kidney stones without surgery using ultrasound waves. And the way that it works, which I think is pretty cool, is you have a kidney stone or a patient with a kidney stone. And if you make this ellipse shape, and if you look at or place the kidney stone at one of the focal points, and you place the ultrasound emitter at the other focal point in an ellipse, this would be the surgical machine. What you'll see is that the waves will bounce off, or the ultrasound waves will bounce off the ellipse and travel directly to the focal point, and this will sort of break up the kidney stone. So by using some mathematical calculations and understanding where the focal points are, you can use ultrasound to break up kidney stones. It's actually pretty cool. Just as a quick note, I'm going to have you watch an Edpuzzle video on this later. But if you ever have seen those whispering rooms, or if you ever try to stand, if you've been to a science museum and you have one person stand at one end and one person at the other end, it's called a whispering gallery. Think of one person standing here whispering to the wall. The whispering is going to reflect off the ellipse and go directly to the other focal point. So you could be standing, actually here's a good example. A talker and a listener in a whispering gallery. You can be talking and listening, and it's actually super, super cool. Okay, so it's just kind of a cool use of the ellipse, but it relies on your knowledge of focal points. Okay, the next thing is that planets have an elliptical orbit, which is kind of interesting. So not only the Earth, but all the other planets orbit in an elliptical fashion, which is kind of interesting. And so these calculations are used in science, okay? You can see that each planet has its own elliptical orbit, and we're gonna learn about the degree of the orbit, called the eccentricity, in a future video.